Hot news today.
Who is Elon Musk and what is his net worth? It seems like not a day goes by without billionaire Elon Musk making headlines. The boss of X, formerly Twitter, Tesla and SpaceX is the world's richest person and has used his platform to make his views known on a vast array of topics. He is charged ahead with human brain chip trials at his firm Neuralink. 3 patients currently have implants supplied by it. He's also played with turning X into a super app and tried to cement his presence in the fast-growing world of artificial intelligence, despite having warned it could lead to humanity's extinction. Then in early 2024, Musk's reach expanded further after Donald Trump's victory in the U.S. presidential election, in which the Tesla executive played a key but controversial role, before their relationship imploded in a bitter feud. The billionaires initially publicly clashed over a tax and spending bill, but within hours the pair were slinging personal insults on the social media platforms they own, with Musk ultimately suggesting without evidence that Trump appears in unreleased files related to late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The White House condemned the allegation, and Trump suggested the government could save money by cutting subsidies and contracts to Musk's businesses. It was a spectacular turnaround from the early months of the administration, where Trump picked the self-proclaimed first buddy to lead the newly created Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, which has overseen deep and deeply controversial cuts to public spending. Musk's political activity has come at a cost to his businesses though. Sales of Teslas have slumped, in part, analysts say, because of customers turning against the carmaker's boss. Musk announced his departure from the White House on May 28. Days earlier, he had criticized one of Trump's signature policies, which includes multi-trillion-dollar tax breaks and a pledge to increase defense spending. He said that while he would leave the White House, DOGE's mission to cut government spending would continue and only strengthen over time. That apparent unity disintegrated days later, with the 2 men trading insults after Musk called Trump's spending plans a disgusting abomination. It's not just in the US where Musk has waded into political controversy. In the UK, Musk accused Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer of being deeply complicit in grooming gang mass rapes in exchange for votes, while Sir Keir accused critics of spreading lies and misinformation. In Germany, Musk has endorsed the far-right Alternative für Deutschland, AfD, and urged Germans to back the party in forthcoming elections. In the UK and Germany, 71% of people said they took a negative view of Musk, with 63% saying they don't think he has much knowledge of national issues, according to YouGov. Where was Elon Musk born? Born in Pretoria, South Africa, Musk showed his talents for entrepreneurship early, going door to door with his brother selling homemade chocolate Easter eggs and developing his first computer game at the age of 12. He has described his childhood as difficult, affected by his parents' divorce, bullying at school and his own difficulty picking up on social cues because of Asperger's syndrome. At the earliest opportunity, he left home for college, moving to Canada and then the US, where he studied economics and physics at the University of Pennsylvania, an Ivy League college. In a 2010 essay for Marie Claire, his first wife, Justine Musk, a writer whom he met in college and married in 2000, wrote that even before making his millions, Musk was not a man who takes no for an answer. The will to compete and dominate, that made him so successful in business, did not magically shut off when he came home, she recalled, adding that he told her while dancing at their wedding, "I am the alpha in this relationship." How did Elon Musk make his money? After being accepted to a physics graduate degree program at Stanford University, Musk quickly dropped out and founded 2 technology startups during the dot-com boom of the 1990s. These included a web software firm and an online banking company that eventually became PayPal, which was sold to eBay in 2002 for $1.5 billion, £1.2 billion. He plowed his fortune into a new rocket company, SpaceX, which he aimed to make a cost-effective alternative to NASA, and a new electric car company, Tesla, where he chaired the board until becoming chief executive in 2008. The two firms are credited with upending their industries, even as they sometimes veered close to financial collapse. More recent business ventures include his takeover of social media platform Twitter in October 2022. He dramatically reduced the size of its workforce, including, controversially, cuts to teams responsible for keeping the platform safe, rebranded the company as X, and introduced new premium subscriptions so that the business did not rely on advertising alone for income. Musk's long-term ambition is for X to become an everything app offering a range of services. However, so far the value of the firm has plunged from the $44 billion he originally paid to just $9.4 billion, according to some estimates. Since Musk's takeover, companies have been choosing to leave the platform in what's been termed the Great Exodus. Reports suggest hate speech has been growing under Musk's X tenure, and some firms don't want to be associated with that. Leaving X can be a tricky decision for brands. He also has ambitions in the AI sector, being an early investor in ChatGPT's parent company before parting ways in 2018, and setting up his own company XAI to understand the true nature of the universe in 2023. In February 2024, he sued OpenAI and its boss Sam Altman, saying the firm he helped found had reneged on its nonprofit, open-source origins by hitching its wagon to Microsoft. A year later, Musk led a takeover bid which was firmly rejected by Altman, who suggested a $9.74 billion counteroffer for X. "I'm never hugely convinced that he knows what he wants to do tomorrow," says journalist Chris Stockelwalker of Musk's wide-ranging interests. "He very much leads by instinct." In a 2015 biography, author Ashley Vance described Musk as a confrontational know-it-all with an abundant ego. But he also called him an awkward dancer and diffident public speaker. In the press, he's been dubbed both a mad genius and Twitter's biggest troll, known as much for his lofty ambitions as his petty fights, not to mention the more serious lawsuits he and his companies have faced from regulators, investors, and others over issues such as racial discrimination and the trustworthiness of his claims. Divorced 3 times, twice from the same woman, British actress Tallulah Riley, Musk is frank about his faults. "If you list my sins, I sound like the worst person on earth," he said in a TED interview in 2022. "But if you put those against the things I've done right, it makes much more sense." What is Elon Musk's net worth? Those contradictions certainly haven't stopped Musk from amassing a fortune. According to Bloomberg's index, tracking the wealth of the world's billionaires, Musk is the richest of them all. It estimates his current net worth to be around $335 billion. That's based largely on the value of his shares in Tesla, of which he owns more than 13%. The company's stock soared in value, some say unreasonably, in 2020 as the firm's output increased and it started to deliver regular profits. The shares plunged at the end of 2022, with some blaming the distraction of the Twitter takeover for the fall, though they have since recovered a lot of ground. His row with Trump reduced the value of the stock, which had initially soared when the president was elected. And throughout 2024, Musk was locked in a legal battle over a $56 billion pay package from Tesla, with a Delaware judge rejecting his claim to it for a second time in December. Judge Kathleen McCormick called the payout an unfathomable sum, and argued Musk had influenced the company's board and shareholders, with 75% of them voting to back his pay deal in June. Is Elon Musk worth his $56 billion Tesla pay package? Musk also champions digital currencies and has a hand in several other smaller companies, including tunnel maker The Boring Company. Musk, who wears the mantle of a workaholic proudly, has often said he's not in business simply to make money, claims he repeated recently with regard to his Twitter takeover. Elon only gets involved with things if he feels that they're critically important for some reason. For the sake of society or humanity, says friend and Tesla investor Ross Gerber. Why did Elon Musk team up with Trump? For a long time Musk, who became a U.S. citizen in 2002, resisted efforts to label his politics, calling himself half Democrat, half Republican, politically moderate and independent. He says he voted for Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton and, reluctantly, Joe Biden, all of them Democrats. But in recent years he backed Donald Trump, who is a Republican. Musk officially endorsed Trump for a second term in 2024 after his attempted assassination and became one of the campaign's foremost backers and influencers. He became critical of the Democrat Party's stance on a number of issues, including the economy, immigration, and gun control, decrying many of its policies as woke. Musk's America Super PAC also ran a controversial $1 million giveaway to voters in battleground states in the last weeks of the campaign. Why tech bros are turning to Trump? But that all fell apart in a very public fashion, with Musk polling his ex-followers to ask whether a new political party should be set up to challenge the status quo. Trump threatened Musk's business dealings with the federal government, which formed the lifeblood of his SpaceX program. Musk then called for Trump to be impeached, and said he'd decommission his Dragon spacecraft, which NASA relies upon, something he backed down on fairly swiftly. But his really big bomb was a suggestion without evidence that Trump appears in unreleased files related to late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The U.S. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt refuted the claim. This is an unfortunate episode from Elon, who is unhappy with the One Big Beautiful Bill because it does not include the policies he wanted, she said. In the past, Musk has said he sees his businesses as a form of philanthropy, because they are focused on solving major human issues such as climate change. However, he has since moderated his views on climate change, tweeting that it is real, just much slower than alarmists claim. Despite his own interest in artificial intelligence, he has also been one of the most prominent figures expressing concern about the supposed threat to humanity's future that superintelligent AIs might pose. He has claimed that the rise of artificial intelligence, combined with a declining birth rate, could result in not enough people being in the world. Musk has had 12 children, 6 with his first wife, 3 with Canadian singer Grimes, and 3 with Siobhan Zeles. Following the birth of his twins with Ms. Zeles, he tweeted, "Doing my best to help the underpopulation crisis." BBC News.
Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.